So every new year, we tell ourselves, this year I'm going to do this or that, and then the new year ends, and we repeat the cycle over and again. Research shows that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by the beginning of March. So why? Because New Year's resolutions seldom have actionable steps.
Dr. Jed Ballard showed us a structured approach to goal setting that can turn your dreams into concrete accomplishments. Check this out.
Okay, new year. We're still talking about resolutions, and we have Dr. Jed joining us again. Hi.
Hi.
New goals, and today you're going to talk about levels of goals, right? That we can use them throughout the whole year and our life, right?
No, absolutely, because resolutions can be such a powerful thing if done correctly. And what resolutions really break down to is goal setting. And there's just better ways to do that. That's actually been studied pretty heavily. There's been books written on it. I'm a pretty big reader. So we're just going to talk a little bit about how to make good goals. You can use this for resolutions or just any time in life you want to set a goal. Super effective to do it in an intelligent manner, essentially.
Yeah. Okay, and you kind of have it broken down into certain letters, shall we say?
Yeah, so there's letters and levels in a sense. So your first one, we're just going to call it a destination goal. And this is the one that's most common for people to make, especially resolutions, but also most common to fail. And that would be your classic, I'm going to get in shape this year. Destination goal, like the destination is get in shape, but they don't know what that means. There's nothing specific, measurable, etc. So you're just bound for failure off the get-go because you don't even know what success was.
We're going nowhere, but we're making good time.
I'm going to fly a plane. I'm going to fly a plane. Okay, how? Right?
Exactly. That's set up for failure. Crashes. But if we take that a step further, there's a acronym that's used in a lot of leadership conferences, Boys and Girls Club, etc., which I really like, and those are called SMART goals. And what you're doing is taking that word SMART and breaking that down into how to set that goal.
Okay.
So your first part is the S, and that's specific. Second part, M, measurable. And then you're going into something that's achievable. That's the A. R has to be relevant. Don't set a goal if it doesn't mean anything to you. And then the T is time specific. Because if you have a goal without a timestamp on it, that's actually just a dream. You need to know, hey, I need to get to here by this amount of time.
Right. Okay.
I love that.
I like that. And again, like you said, that's something that you can apply to everyday type items, not just resolutions.
Absolutely. It works well with resolutions, but it's really any goal can fall into this. And we can go, let's say you just completed your half marathon, which is amazing.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And my dad now said I should go through a full marathon. I said, Dad, okay, let's move it slow. Right?
All right.
Let's
I think
go.
you jumped to the A right there. Is that achievable?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's good. You're assessing.
Let's think it's Mark, Dad. Okay, I'll go through the letters with you.
Perfect. So if we're taking something like that, which is a great accomplishment, into a SMART goal, specific you got, it would be complete the half marathon, or we can go up to the marathon. We'll go to the marathon. So specific, complete the marathon. And then you're going into the measurable, and that could be if you want to do it by a specific amount of time, or you just want to finish it. Either one of those would be completely fine, but you know what the goal is.
Right.
If you cross the finish line, you have achieved that goal. And then we're going to the achievable, and that's where kind of weighing the cost before you decide to do it, so you don't lie to yourself. We talked about this last week. And I do think you crushed a half marathon. I do think you are capable of a marathon, though it is painful.
You're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you.
Exactly. Exactly. And then relevant, is this something that matters to you?
Oh, 100%.
So if it matters to you, then it's relevant. So take that. And then the timestamp. Just saying, okay, I want to run a marathon. Are you doing this when you're 60? You know what I mean? You got to give yourself, in 2024, I'm going to run a marathon.
I was going to say, that's a bit of a time span for you.
So that you actually kind of take action and get to work on your goal instead of just having this lofty, I'm going to be great someday situation.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll think about it. Okay, first time I said to my dad, no, that's a no, but maybe I'll do a full marathon.
I personally think you are capable. I personally think you are capable.
Yes, okay.
So let's go over that again, the SMART. S is?
Yep, S is specific.
M?
Measurable.
A?
A is going to be achievable.
R?
Relevant.
R is going to be relevant. It has to mean something to you.
Right. And then T?
T is that time stamp or time specific. You got to give yourself kind of that deadline. Otherwise, action just keeps on being tomorrow.
So, okay, big question with this. Say you're on the SMART plan.
Yeah.
You get to a certain point, you haven't quite made it yet. you have to give yourself a little bit of grace, correct?
Yeah, completely agree with that. And that's something that, you know, your initial thoughts, if it's something you haven't tried before, may be a little bit off. So I think it's really good to kind of give yourself some reassessment points, you know, depending on the length of your goal. If it's a 6-month goal, have a 1 month and a 3-month check-in where you've pre-allowed yourself to make adjustments from there, kind of based on how it's going. And that's kind of, you know, essentially you're entering into a contract with yourself and whatnot, but you might be taking on new ground and you just don't know what you're capable of yet.
Okay.
So sometimes that'll be make your goal a little bit more lofty. Sometimes it's back it off a little. But because you pre-allowed it, then you're not kind of lying to yourself and feeling like a failure. You know, you've given yourself permission to check in and make needed adjustments.
All right.
Let's go over the last go, the levels. Right?
Yep, and the last one, if you want to, the SMART goal acronym is absolutely great. Another way to really get stuff done would be something like a process goal. So instead of that destination, process. So we'll take this to, I'm going to write a book in 2024. And that would be a destination, get a book done, but there's no action to get there. Process goal would be something like, I'm going to do 3 90-minute deep blocks per week. And what will happen is in those process goals, a lot of times you wind up achieving far more than your destination goal, because what stops people from goals is that dedicated, consistent action. But in a process goal, all you're doing is I'm going to do this action, and that's what really achieves those goals.
Okay.
All right. Good
Let's
points
be
to have.
smart
Yes.
in 2024.
And we give you permission to reevaluate your new resolutions and do it the smart way this time. Okay.
Super
Dr.
smart.
Jed, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate all the info.
Hey, no problem at all. Thanks, y'all.